Hello to everybody. Here we are in the Enlightenment Academia podcast. We are having a great interview with Professor Manni, or Danny as he likes the best. And hi, Danny. Nice to having you.
Hi to you, Fabio, and to all of you.
Thank you very much. Can you please give us a little introduction about yourself and what you do?
Yes, I am a simple teacher, a high school teacher. I started my life immediately after graduating in computer science as an entrepreneur. I love entrepreneurship. I have been for about 15 years an entrepreneur, and I created 4 different companies. 2 of these have dramatically failed. Instead, other 2 are still fantastic today, but I am not in the society anymore because I am a sort of a serial startupper. You know, I create a startup. If it works, if it doesn't work, start another one. If it works, start another one. And I've done this till 1999. And as I was also a teacher in the morning in 1999, I decided to end my career as an entrepreneur and started teaching to my students how to become entrepreneurs.
Okay, and could you go, because I think it's very interesting. How did you started teaching? How did?
Yeah, it was for a mistake. I started teaching for a mistake because I didn't want to teach. I was not absolutely interested in teaching. But since we were very few graduated in computer science, all the schools were looking for teachers as gold. But I always said no to everyone. And only for a mistake, I said yes to one little period of 2 months where I had only 6 hours in a week to teach. So I said yes, and that was my great mistake. I'm kidding, obviously, because when I entered the classroom, I started to fall in love with students and never left them ever since.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, it seems like you're starting startups with students, with high school students.
Yes, we start the year having working on an idea, and maybe in 1 week or 2 weeks or 4 weeks, the idea comes out. What we think could be the good idea, and then we start working on it as an entrepreneur does. I always say that I never teach entrepreneurship. We practice entrepreneurship. So we have the idea, we are thinking of making, as an example, a new t-shirt. Okay, let's start thinking at the graphics. Let's start having some experiments. We start showing the graphics that we have chosen to the people. We have this sort of a marketing survey, you know. We ask the market if they like it. If they don't like it, we change the graphics. If they start liking it, we print an example or 2, and then we show the examples around and start selling them. We sell them on the word without selling them practically because we do not have money. We cannot print a lot of t-shirts. We sell them on the word, and when we have about 10, 20, or 50 orders of that t-shirt, we start printing them and selling them practically. And if it's a nice t-shirt, maybe it will grow and we will go on selling other ones. And maybe we will go on designing other ones and selling ones. But most of all the times, it doesn't work so good. We start selling solely some of them to our relatives, to the parents of our students, and then it stops. And most of the people can call this a failure. They are right. It is a failure, but it is not bad. It is good. Students have to learn that failures are not something bad. Failures are part of the success. The more they fail, the more they get close to success. The sooner they fail, the sooner they will get in touch with success.
Wow, that's a wonderful philosophy. Wonderful. And I really like, because I made some searching, and I really like also what you called a student-centric way of teaching. And
yes, this is to teach to good students, but our real job is to teach to not good students. And we have to find out, discover how we can reach out to the non-good students, to those students who do not love our subject, those students who do not love coming to school. That is the real challenge for teachers. The other branch of student-centered education is to help students discover what are their passions. And how can we do this? We can do this helping them and introducing them to people we know, friends of ours that are busy in so many kind of jobs outside school. We should invite in the class, invite at school, people who work in sports, in music, in arts, in theater, in journalism, in any kind of field, in technology, and let them talk to our students, simply telling them their stories, what they do, what they've done, how they had success, how they failed, how they stand up again, and let students discover all these worlds. And maybe if we give them all these stimulus to these students and let them discover these worlds, maybe they will find out something that they are passionate about. And if we find that subject, the school has to help them grow in that passion. If I discover that a student has a passion for space, okay, I can help him, not because I know something about space, but maybe I can ask an expert, a professional, if he can come and help that student. And every time I asked an expert, a professional, if he could help one of my students, I never had a refuse. Everybody has always said, sure, absolutely. And they have never asked money for this. They've done this for the sake of helping young people. And so we have to help them in this way. Let them discover what could be a passion of theirs. Let them grow in that passion. Maybe they will discover that it wasn't true. After a year or two, they say, no, it's not, I don't love it anymore. That's not a problem. We didn't lose time. We had something new that that student learned, and he can open his mind in some other direction.
Yeah, yeah. Perfectly with you. I wish I had you as a teacher. Thank you.
Yeah,
okay, then.
as I said, in a sort of a way, I'm trying to create the school that I would have loved to go to.
Yeah, yeah. And next question brings us to Afghanistan. How did you get involved in this reality, in this situation?
I didn't get involved. You involved me. It's your fault. It's your fault because you had this sort of bridge with Afghanistan, and you once told me, would you like to talk with these teachers in Afghanistan? And I said, sure, I'd love to talk with them. And so we started talking. We started getting friends. We tried to make them open their minds too towards entrepreneurship, because here in Italy, but I think in all over the world, school is so far away from entrepreneurship. The teachers don't have this sort of idea that students or young people can bring up their little businesses. Instead, they have to. And it's not only for the sake of business, it's not for them to become entrepreneurs. It's not for them to become rich. It's to help them understand that going through an entrepreneurship education, they can discover and they can gain so many soft skills because it is very important for them. They do something that is completely different in school. They find problems and solve problems and become problem solvers. They become resilient. They learn how to work in a team. They learn how to speak in public. They learn how important it is to fail. As I said before, it is so important to learn that a failure is not something so dramatic, you know? And the best part of it is that they get how you can say it, self-confident. You know, students discover that they are worth something because they handled with their hands, with their ideas, the transformation of a simple idea put on a blackboard, designed on a blackboard, has become a real t-shirt and has become something that someone else is interested in to buy it. So they have this sort of self-growth inside that they are important and they can be a change maker.
Wow, that's wonderful. Okay, can you please share us something, add something, in Italian?
Ok, un consiglio che do ai miei colleghi docenti. Primo, chiedetevi se vi state divertendo a scuola, perché se non vi state divertendo dovete cambiare qualcosa. Dovete cambiare qualcosa perché probabilmente la formula corretta per stare a scuola è veramente divertirsi, perché se vi divertite i ragazzi se ne accorgono e diventate degli insegnanti che hanno sicuramente più empatia con i ragazzi. E se riuscite a creare più empatia con i vostri ragazzi, vi seguiranno in una maniera completamente diversa. Verrà totalmente rotto quella sorta di relazione che tiene distanti gli alunni dai docenti. L'altro grande consiglio che sento di dare è quello di sperimentare in continuazione, inventarsi un nuovo modo di relazionarsi con i ragazzi, provare, sperimentarlo. Fallisce, va male, benissimo, abbiamo imparato che quel sistema non funziona, ne proviamo un altro. Posso garantirvi che se non smettete mai di sperimentare, troverete sempre una soluzione che possa andare bene per uno studente e basta che un solo studente passi dallo stato di svogliato, disattento, distratto allo stato di un po' più attento nella vostra materia, che questo sarà un successo grandioso, perché è quello che sogniamo tutti noi docenti, vedere i nostri studenti che passano da uno stato di distratto ad attento, dagli attenti ai interessati e possibilmente trasformare addirittura gli interessati in esperti. Thank you, Fabio. Thank you, and have a wonderful future, everyone.